I remembered another aspect to my theory of UFO propulsion that may be significant. It involves the addition of tangential acceleration to the already theorized static radial acceleration of a rotating wheel. Tangential acceleration is that part of an acceleration vector that imparts increased speed to an object, while radial acceleration is that part of a body's vector that imparts a change in direction. Thus, an object moving in a circle has a radial acceleration and experiences a centripetal force, but its speed is constant. This is the force that I supposed would cause the reference frame of a neutral particle to become stretched into an ellipsoidal form, resulting, hopefully, in a partial charge separation that could be operated on by a magnetic or electric field, resulting in the possibility of reactionless acceleration. What I here propose is that alternately increasing and decreasing the velocity of a wheel by a tangential acceleration may result in more stretching of a particle's field than a static centripetal force alone. So we might suppose that a wheel is sped up to some maximum, thus generating an ellipsoidal field of constant eccentricity. Then the speed of the wheel is slowed and sped back up to maximum again, over and over, to tweak out a higher maximum charge separation in the object particle. One of the characteristics of UFO propulsion is a plasma near the craft composed of nitrogen atoms in the atmosphere which have been stripped of electrons. When electrons are knocked loose, then returned to the atom, they give off light of characteristic color. Hence, the UFO is often seen to glow. Such electrons in the air might be dislodged as a byproduct of an alternating magnetic field used to alternately speed up and slow down the wheel, whereas a constant magnetic field, no matter how strong, will not cause a shedding of electrons by molecules in the air. This can only be caused by a changing magnetic or electric field in the theory I am propounding. So if we take the common UFO observation of glowing plasma around a craft, we must accept some source which is its cause. It could be a rapidly oscillating electric or magnetic field, or it may be something which generates X-rays or some similar ionizing radiation in a different theory. The difference between tangential and radial acceleration is the probable cause of the stability of electrons in orbit. This is due to a phenomenon which is not discussed in the standard model of physics. I say it is not discussed because I've never seen it in 50 years of interested browsing on various subjects in physics. And if scientists had known of it, they would have proposed this as a solution to electron stability at the turn of the century or thereabouts. After 1700, Huygens, Bradley, and others calculated the speed of light as about 186,000 miles per second. On the basis of variations in the orbital period of Io around Jupiter over the course of an Earth year. So everyone knew that the speed of light was finite since way back then. Now the problem lies in the acceleration of extended bodies. If you pull on any physical body, it must relativistically stretch in the direction of motion, because no influence can propagate through any medium instantaneously. And if you push the body, it will compress in the direction of motion for the same reason. This is not Lorentz contraction, it's something altogether different, and it is apparently unknown to the scientific community. Certainly it was unknown to Einstein, who posited the principle of equivalence in 1907, which states that the force of gravity is fundamentally identical to a tangential acceleration. Clearly this is false, because the force of gravity that we feel holding us down on the ground is equivalent to a radial acceleration, while the elevator in space example is a straightforward tangential acceleration. The fundamental difference is that gravity compresses us to a static limit, while a rocket acceleration compresses its occupants in a cumulative way without theoretical limit. As I've discussed elsewhere, the solution to this conundrum is that radiation is given off in any tangential acceleration which relaxes the compression or extension of extended bodies undergoing that kind of acceleration. This is the most fundamental solution to the electron's stability in orbit. And please don't tell me about electron clouds. Yes, they're there. What I'm talking about is the electron's locus of activity. That is, the electron's position is anywhere given by a probability function, but the orbit of its locus is closely approximated by classical Bohr orbit. That's why Bohr can make some accurate calculations. This makes the equivalence principle fundamentally flawed, though it might not make a huge difference in general relativity calculations, because tangential and radial accelerations are the same from some perspectives, like when we don't inquire too closely. Now you should be able to see why alternately accelerating and decelerating the wheel, or whatever is going round and round in a UFO propulsion system, would serve to increase any charge separation effect that might occur. The fundamental postulate of all of science may be called the theory of physicality. Physicality means that the behavior of matter and the existence of matter itself is apart from mind. That is, we have no effect on matter except by physically moving it, by first willing our bodies to move. That is the only mind-matter connection there is. We will, then our physical body moves by that will. Then the object matter moves when we touch it. We can't bypass our body and just wish matter to move directly by will alone, nor can we make it come into existence by willing it to be. This is the cornerstone of all sciences, and all of rationality itself. Wishing don't make it so. With that in mind, you can see the problem a UFO poses to physics. It is not justifiable in physics to posit a mechanism that might work at some time in the future. We can only posit a future mechanism if we give a causal chain beginning with our will, then our body moves, then we build some device with our body movements, then the device causes the desired effect, and there are no unknown gaps in the chain of causality all the way from mind to effect. So an idea like wormhole propulsion is not scientifically valid because we can't propose what our bodies are to build to get the wormhole effect. There's a tremendous logical gap in the chain of causality there. So we call this chain science fiction, because it's just a fictional ploy to move a plot along in a narrative. And that's okay for entertainment purposes. A scientist speaking as a scientist, when he has gaps in his chain of causality, can only say, "I do not know." If a scientist speaking as a scientist seriously gives a theory with causality gaps in it, he is a quack. So I call all such gap theories ruby slipper propulsion systems, in honor of Dorothy's shoes, which she got from the Wicked Witch of the East when her house fell on her and killed her, and which could transport Dorothy back to Kansas merely by clicking the heels together. A really great propulsion mechanism with great big huge causality gaps in it. All scientists should remain in Kansas at all times.